What the just happened to the Boston Celtics?
What do you mean? What happened?
2 years ago, they became the only team in NBA history to win 18 championships. They proved everybody wrong about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They got Al Horford a championship. Al Horford!
He deserved that.
Yeah, but he lost a lot.
Yeah, man, because of LeBron.
They made him a champion. That team accomplished a lot. That team made a lot of history happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2 years later, I can't even recognize them. We were talking dynasty. Jaylen Brown was the finals MVP. The craziest part is just how quickly everything changed. A year later, they're still favorites to come out of the East. And then Tatum ruptures his Achilles. And you would think, that changes a lot for Tatum. It changed everything for that entire organization, though. It was just weeks after that injury, they traded Porzingis. They traded Drew Holiday. And they called that next year, this is a reset year. We're gonna save money and we're not expecting much. But then Jaylen Brown goes on and has an MVP level season. 2 months after that, he gets traded.
Nico Stevens.
The entire fan base, which glorified Brad Stevens, now they want his head. Now they've lost all faith in him. After he delivered a championship. I don't exactly know what happened, but I have an idea, and I think it's going to start happening to a lot of teams.
What's that?
We gotta go back. So just days after you guys won the title in 2024, the team actually got sold to the Gronsbeck family. And it was a little bit surprising. The owner just wins a championship and now he's selling.
I did not know this. Wow.
Yeah, sold the team. And this has actually been happening a lot lately. The Bust family, which owned the Lakers for 46 years, they recently sold. Joe Tsai sold part of the Nets. Paul Allen sold away the Trailblazers. Mark Cuban, 7 months before he lost to the Celtics in the NBA Finals, actually sold his controlling stake in the Mavs. A lot of owners were actually jumping ship, even off winning teams.
Very suspicious.
All around the same time, because something else happened during this time, and a lot of people talk about it, but I think now we're starting to really understand the effects of it.
Mm-hmm.
The new CBA. When the NBA implemented their latest collective bargaining agreement, owners basically called it suicidal if you wanted to be a contender. You were going to have to take on an insane amount of financial pressure in order to contend. James Dolan finally wins a championship for the Knicks, and he's publicly, openly talked about selling chunks of the team because of where the NBA is headed. See, in the 2010s, people were spending like crazy. People didn't care about going over the cap. You pay the tax, you move on. But once the NBA started putting the second apron and all the restrictions that came with it, not only did you have to pay more, an insane tax bill, it was also harder for you to change your team and actually make it better once you lost. And it turns out that the Boston Celtics are the first team to crack and crumble under the CBA.
First team to crack.
They were also the first team to win as soon as they came in, right? And it's really unfortunate if you're a Boston Celtics fan because your team did it the right way. You guys drafted and developed homegrown talent. That talent got to its potential, winning potential. You made the finals in 22, you lost. After you guys lost in the conference finals in 2023, you went all in. You extended Jaylen Brown, gave him over $300 million. You traded for Porzingis, and then you extended him 2 years, $60 million. You traded away Marcus Smart, you brought in Drew Holiday. You said, we're going for it. This is the core. We lost before, but we've made it to the finals before that. We can do it again, and you were right. By 2024, you won the championship, and then just days later, you extended Tatum for over $300 million. And Tatum, that next season coming into it, played like an MVP. Every decision, nobody can blame you. Nobody could say you should have done something different because it led to winning and all your players played up to their contract's potential. You guys also extended Derek White, 4 years, $126 million. Pretty good deal for what he brings to the team, right?
Big time.
Double down on Keita, double down on Luke Kornet. You brought the team back. And that next season after you won the title, you guys were winning. Favorites to come out of the East. We talked about how things changed after the Tatum injury, but up until this point, whatever you guys could control, you controlled, and you did it well. When Tatum went down in 2025, that ruptured Achilles, it ruptured something else too. Because the Celtics were looking at not only their best player, their franchise player, facing a career-changing injury, they were also facing a $540 million tax bill. And they realized no Tatum, or at least mostly no Tatum next season, this isn't worth it. They decided they needed a purge. This was called the Great Purge, when the Celtics just moved off those contracts within a month of losing. I mean, hey, you guys traded for Anthony Simons just to get under the tax. There's no other reason why you brought Anthony Simons in. No other reason. It was just money.
Yeah.
Pure money. And the Celtics would do things out of pure money for the next year. Because while they did over-deliver, they got 56 wins the next season, second seed, they got Tatum back mid-season, it seemed like they could do it again, do something. There was something floating in their minds. You know, they spent years trying to convince everybody that the Tatum and Brown pairing could work, would work, and they were right. They won together, and they gave them a combined $600 million because they believed in it.
Mm-hmm.
But then suddenly, when you realize you've seen the potential of that team, and now with the new CBA, to stay in that second apron with those two guys, suddenly your belief changes. Same players, same belief that you have, but suddenly now, for some reason, aren't looking at them the same way anymore. This is an organization that's looking like they still believe in Jaylen Brown. They still believe in Tatum. They still believe in what they won with, right?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? And suddenly, just a month after the season, they suddenly feel like they're not good enough for the Knicks. They suddenly feel like Jaylen Brown isn't good enough for the contract that they gave him. They're moving in a way where they agree with the people who doubted them before they made all these extensions and these decisions. Brad Stevens goes from proving everybody wrong to acting like they're right. Jaylen Brown only got better. Jason Tatum came back and showed us a lot of good stuff coming back from an Achilles. Where did you lose your confidence? And that's where I'm realizing confidence is no longer just about ability. It's not even about accomplishments. Now, in the new CBA, confidence comes in value.
You got to be like Jalen Brunson, willing to take less money, huh?
Or you got to be young and cheap. Because when the Celtics made it to the playoffs and believed they can come out of the East, instead they blew a 3-1 lead in the first round of Philly, then in the next 2 months proceeded to dangle their MVP candidate, former finals MVP, for Giannis. And they did that maybe not thinking what would happen if it didn't work, because it didn't work. Pat Riley got Giannis, and Boston got Paul George. Maybe it works out, but here's what we do know. Jaylen Brown went from a finals MVP and an MVP candidate to now being devalued to somebody they don't know can actually be the focal point worth 35% of your cap, which is crazy because he's only gotten better. He's in his prime. He's on a guaranteed contract for multiple years. There are a lot of teams who you would think could use Jaylen Brown. So then why was the only offer they got Paul George? And then maybe you start to realize maybe Brad Stevens is not the only one thinking this way. Maybe there's reasons why these owners are selling. Maybe there's reasons why roster construction is looking more and more funky every year. These trades are making less and less sense. It feels like now there are two main motivations in a trade. Either you're going for it or you're doing everything you can to get off money. And there's no in-betweens. Brad Stevens sat in front of a presser after the trade, called it a hard decision, but also simplified it, saying that, you know, we think we're in the age now where you cannot have two players that take up 70% of your cap space. If we're gonna simplify it, yeah, it is the second apron. It's no longer just a tax bill. It's restrictions that put you at a disadvantage. It is the inability to aggregate your salaries. It is what it costs you in long-term flexibility. The crazy part about all of this is that it happened to Boston. It happened to the franchise that is known for drafting well, home-growing their stars into winning basketball, playing a unique style of winning basketball. That's who you guys are. So it must be so jarring if you're a Celtics fan, you just look and you're like, we don't do this. We for decades, we watch other teams do this. Why are we doing this?
I think they're being forced to do it now.
Something changed.
Something changed.
Something changed now that teams are moving in a way that they've never moved before.
Yeah.
And it almost makes you think that this isn't even in the same NBA. We haven't had a back-to-back in 8 years. We've seen the most insane trades recently. And it just feels like this is a new league and a new style of team building that's been forced upon us. Adam Silver changed something, and I'm afraid it doesn't stop here. I think the Boston Celtics were the first of many who are going to have to go through this.
Yeah.
Not every team has a Jalen Brunson who's willing to play for $43 million.
Nope.
Top 10 player right now,
Yeah.
a proven winner.
Best Nick ever so far.
There's no player, the 10 players after him are going to make more money than him and do less than him. And that's going to be normal. Donovan Mitchell just signed a contract that's going to pay him $75 million by the time he's 34 years old. And the Cavs had no choice. Because how often does a top 15 player come into a city market like Cleveland? The Boston Celtics, man, you guys had 4 All-Stars just 2 years ago. And now it's Jason Tatum and a 36-year-old Paul George. I've just never seen a team change so much so quickly. It wasn't even a 2-year change. It was a 1-year change. After Tatum ruptures Achilles, that you trade away Jaylen Brown. I understand if like the Warriors or the Lakers do something like this. I never saw it for the Celtics. But now that they did it, I think it just proves it. This can happen to anybody.
So we're in a transitional period is what you're saying.
We are in a period now where you have 2 options. You have to win with young guys who aren't making the big bucks yet, or you need to go find somebody who deserves the big bucks and is willing to take significantly less.
So we're talking either really young and inexperienced or really old and malleable in terms of their money.
Which is sad because it's always been that way. It's always been you're young, you grow, you earn your contracts, you earn your second contract, you earn the money based on your track record in the NBA. Right now, it feels like the NBA is treating everybody like the way NFL treats running backs. Like it's just like you have a finite window, and once you're expired of it, you're either overpaid and crippling a team, or you have to sacrifice.
There's probably one way to reverse this, is that young talent has to stop playing so well.
And I know the NBA doesn't want that either. The future of the NBA is so secured right now because we have never seen young talent this talented. Look at this draft class that's coming in. Look at the last draft class. Look at what Dylan Harper just did. The top 4 picks of this year are going to be so exciting. Like, these are just rookies and sophomores. Like,
Players are just developing so much sooner.
which is what's leading NBA teams to think that we don't need to pay $60, $70 million for some guys. We can replace that with some young talent and go in on somebody who we really believe in as our top 2. The Boston Celtics gave up on Jaylen Brown as their top 2. They won together. That franchise doubled down on these guys.
You would think, but sometimes, people winning together allows for people to want to transition as well. It's like, okay, I've done the thing with you. There's something else that I want to do in my career.
And also, winning doesn't necessarily guarantee a future. We see it with coaches. And it's almost like the moment you win as a coach, you create this expectation that, sure, maybe it extends your time with the team a little bit, but you're also on a hotter seat the next time you slip. Any team who flies that close to that word, you will not avoid what just happened to the Celtics unless you do those 2 things.
Yeah.
You have to draft extremely well. You need to find diamonds on a budget. Or you gotta hire a dad to be on the coaching staff and find a star who's willing to take tens of millions of dollars less in order to win. Maybe the Knicks could repeat because they're the only team in the NBA that has this. They're the only team in the NBA who has a star that can prove he could win, who is going to take $30 million less than he probably deserves.
Right. And then again, the Spurs can still make moves as well. So.
And they're young. So the Spurs have the other side of that, where they got the rookie deals.
Yeah, it's exactly the 2 ways to win now.
That's it.
Can't be in the middle anymore.
If you're a Celtics fan, don't feel too bad. It's going to happen to somebody else soon.
This is what it is now.
It's okay, you guys got 18 rings. You guys will be okay. If you enjoyed this episode of Balcony Ball, sorry if you're a Celtics fan, like and subscribe. You can see our other stories right here. They come out every Sunday. And as always, we'll see you in the next episode.